Adriana DeSanto, here at the newsroom at Humber's North Campus. It's April 20th. Here's what's making news. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will be back on Canadian soil tomorrow after a trip to Europe. He'll be in Halifax for the Liberal Party National Convention, where he'll talk about policy proposals ahead of the 2019 federal election. But during his trip across the pond to France and the United Kingdom, he met with many dignitaries. Trudeau addressed France's National Assembly on Tuesday, making history as the first sitting Canadian Prime Minister to address the French government. From there, Trudeau spent a few days in the UK for the Commonwealth Summit. He met with British Prime Minister Theresa May and Queen Elizabeth along with leaders of other Commonwealth countries. In other Commonwealth news, Prince Charles was approved as the successor to Queen Elizabeth as the head of the intergovernmental organization. There were calls for the role to be rotated around the 53 member states, most of which are former British territories. However, the Queen backed her 69-year-old son, Charles, Prince of Wales, for the position. The Queen has been the head of the Commonwealth since her reign began in 1952, and Charles has been expected to take on the role even though it's not exclusively hereditary. Students across the U.S. are walking out of class again today to protest against gun violence. Today is also the 19th anniversary of the Columbine High School massacre in Colorado.
Jefferson County 911. Yes, I'm a teacher at Columbine High School. There is a student here with a gun. He has shot out a window.
When students stood in solidarity with Columbine survivors and victims to commemorate those who lost their lives in the 1999 massacre. Two seniors at Columbine High School rampaged through the building, killing 12 of their classmates. And today, over 2,000 schools across the states walked out of their buildings yet again. This is to raise awareness about gun violence to combat what they say is political inaction. Other events have taken place since the Parkland shooting, which triggered this call for more gun control. One of the biggest protests was March for Our Lives.
We have voices too. We can't put guns over people.
Over in Asia, the first ever telephone hotline between the leaders of North and South Korea has been installed ahead of next week's Inter-Korean Summit. Seoul's presidential Blue House and Pyongyang's State Affairs Commission tested the line with a 4-minute phone call, and according to South Korea's presidential office, the connection was great. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un plan to have their first phone conversation sometime before the summit on April 27th, where North Korea is expected to denuclearize its arsenal. The South's presidential office says the hotline will help facilitate communication and reduce misunderstanding in times of tension going forward. The ongoing crisis in Syria continues. So far, the death toll is over 500,000. 1 in 4 of those killed have been children. United Nations vehicles are escorted by Russian military police in Damascus. They originally arrived to close off the site of the suspected chemical weapons attack. But gunmen fired shots at the investigators in the town of Douma, forcing them back to Damascus. Douma was the site of the alleged sarin gas attack earlier this month that killed more than 100 civilians. The deadly gas, which causes muscles to seize and foaming at the mouth, shuts down the central nervous system. A mother fled to a refugee camp in northern Aleppo with her 2 young daughters. She described the breathing issues of her young daughter's suffering. No end seems to be in sight for the ongoing civil conflict. A little closer to home, Torontonians are lighting up today to celebrate the unofficial holiday of 420, a day devoted to cannabis culture. For the first time here in Toronto, Nathan Phillips Square is hosting the event. Today will mark the last celebration of 420 before marijuana becomes legal. The Canadian government is set to decriminalize pot this summer, but some cannabis protesters say there's a lot more to fight for beyond making the substance legal, and vow they'll be out again next year. There's still a duty for regulating the sale and consumption of marijuana by the province and territories. But for now, people will spark up and celebrate around the country today. It was a busy night in sports with 2 Toronto teams in action. Here's Eugenio Garro with sports.
Thank you, Adriana. We begin at the Air Canada Centre. It's Game 4 between the Leafs and the Bruins. Toronto desperately holding on and trying to even the series at 2-2. Leafs need this guy to pick it up. We start midway through the first period. It's already 1-0 Boston when Mitch Marner finds Thomas Buchanan, who fires a pass to Rask. That's Buchanan's first goal as a Maple Leaf since being traded to Toronto from Montreal at the trade deadline. As for Marner, he's been Toronto's best player so far this playoffs for reasons like this, making plays from his knees with a defender draped all over him. Nonetheless, it's 1-1. Midway through the second now, Morgan Riley sends Marner in alone, but Tuukka Rask turns him away to keep it 1-1. Fast forward to 3 minutes left in the second period, Jake Gardiner gets caught in no man's land, and the Bruins make him pay. David Pastrnak to Brad Marchand the 2-on-1, and he finds the back of the net. Not Gardiner's greatest moment there. 2-1 Bruins heading to the third. Third period, now another brutal giveaway at the blue line, this time from Travis Dermott. It's Krejci causing the 2-on-1 this time, and he finds Jake DeBrusk, who makes no mistake. Bruins win 3-1 and take a commanding 3-1 series lead. Next game is tomorrow night in Boston. Now to Columbus, where the Capitals look to even up their series against the Blue Jackets. Ovechkin and the Capitals head into Game 4 down 2-1 at the hands of Bobrovsky and the Blue Jackets. In the first period, there's a scramble in the Jacket zone. Tom Wilson receives a puck at the point, and his shot beats Bobrovsky. The Caps continue to pressure. Ovechkin's shot is stopped, but the rebound falls right to Oshie, who shovels it into empty net to make it 2-0. Onto the third, where it's 3-1 Caps. Ovechkin picks up a loose puck and is off on a breakaway, but Bobrovsky comes up with a glove save. However, it makes no difference as Ovi and Washington tie the series at 2. Game 5 is scheduled for tomorrow at 3 p.m. There are 3 games in the NHL tonight. First up, the Penguins host the Philadelphia Flyers. Pittsburgh holds a 3-1 series lead and can send Philly packing with a win. Second is the high-flying Winnipeg Jets, who host the Minnesota Wild. Winnipeg can advance to the second round with a win. And in the late game, Nashville hosts the Avalanche. With a win, Nashville can advance to the second round. To the diamond, where Aaron Sanchez went 6 innings, giving up 7 hits, 3 runs, while striking out 2, but that wasn't enough as the Blue Jays lost the series opener to the Yankees 4-3. Tonight, the Jays hand the ball to Marco Estrada, who is 1-1 with an ERA of 4.24 in 3 starts. He goes up against Sonny Gray. First pitch is 7:05. And to the hard court, where the Toronto Raptors look to take a commanding 3-0 series lead against the Washington Wizards. Toronto took the first 2 games at home against the Wizards, but now the series shifts back to Washington. The Raps didn't fare well the last time they played playoff games in Washington. They lost both games to the Wizards en route to being swept back in 2015. Tip-off tonight is 8 o'clock. And just in case you wanted to catch a game outdoors, Jurassic Park will be open. That's all for sports. Back over to you, Adriana.
Thanks, Eugenio. Christina Mulherin is live outside now with our weather update. Christina, it's looking pretty sunny out there. Are we going to get a break from the snow?
Yes, Adriana, it's finally starting to look like springtime. Snow's melting, sun's out, and there's no freezing rain or snow in the forecast. Let's take a look at our 3-day weather. Sun all across the board, mainly sunny today with a high of +8, a low of -2 this evening with clear skies. Tomorrow's high will be of 14 degrees and sunny, and a low of +2 in the evening. Sunday will be another sunny day with a high of 15 degrees and a low of 5 overnight. With temperatures hitting double digits, people are definitely going to want to enjoy it and get outside. Back to you, Adriana.
Thanks, Christina. Contract faculty at York University have been on strike for 7 weeks now. The college released a statement Thursday, updating students on their options for the remainder of their classes as well as graduation. York University says that once the strike is over, students will have about 4 weeks to complete their suspended courses. Students also have the option to withdraw from their program without penalty and will not be charged to retake any classes dropped as a result of the strike. The school has not said when classes will resume. A big feat for one Humber student, Evan Stitch-Haller, a third-year industrial design student at Humber College, is a shoo-in as the sole Ontarian finalist in the Pensole World Sneaker Championship. The competition was created as the first global sneaker design tournament to discover and develop the next great shoe designers. Stitch Hall is currently in the top 32 of the voting round of the competition, and now this Humber student needs your votes. In an interview with Humber Etc., he says he'd like to eventually start his own brand of shoes, and let's be honest, the name Stitch Haller Shoes, that has me sold. You can check out the full interview on humberetc.com. That's all for today. Remember, you can head to humbernews.ca anytime for all the day's news and much more. Humber News is written and produced by students in the journalism program. Our technical crew are students in the broadcast videography program. I'm Adriana DeSanto. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.